I'm Ryan McKean.
And I'm Brittany Green.
Welcome to this episode of The Way podcast.
Welcome to The Way, the podcast where we dive deep into the world of legal business and marketing. Each week, we'll be discussing the latest trends, strategies, and insights that are shaping the legal industry. So whether you're a lawyer, marketer, or business owner in the legal industry, this podcast is for you.
I don't know what number this is, but we're here with you.
Yeah, it's been a minute, so we're a little rusty.
It has been a minute. We have been incredibly busy, which is a lot of fun, doing a lot of fun things. We've been traveling. We've been living our best lives in a lot of ways. We just turned 1 a week ago, which was awesome. And we celebrated it by going down to Watch Hill, right next to Taylor Swift's house. Can't confirm or deny we sat at the same table Taylor likes to sit at. But we had a wonderful lunch at Ocean House last week.
Yeah, it was perfect weather too. It was like the best day.
You know, for those not from New England, Rhode Island, in my opinion, has the best coastline of any of the states. And the beaches in New England rival, to me, beaches anywhere in the world, except for the fact that you have about 12 weeks to really enjoy them.
Exactly. Yeah, this time of year is nice too, especially if you're not someone who cares about going in the water, because the beaches are empty still because it's still a little chilly, but it's usually gorgeous this time of year, so I like it. And dogs are usually still allowed at this point.
Yeah,
usually like after Memorial Day they're gone. So
beaches in the winter are also gorgeous, but a completely different experience. But Rhode Island shore is really the best of New England. I mean, I love, Cape Cod, and, Maine is just cold and a lot of rocks. So where we were was awesome, and a great way to celebrate our first year in business, which is quite an accomplishment for any business. So excited about that. And today we figured we would do sort of our 1-year anniversary episode of this podcast with talking specifically about branding and marketing and macro trends, because, you hear a lot in this age of AI about the ability to generate content. It used to be for a decade or more, content is king. And now you're starting to hear more smart people say, brand is king. And look, when you're a huge law firm at scale, you have money to throw at branding experts. You just have opportunities to get your brand out through press releases, TV, billboards, whatever it is that you are doing to reinforce who it is that you are. But, that's a very small minority of firms, and a lot of our clients, mid-sized firms, smaller firms, people who are thinking about starting firms. We're here to talk today really about what branding opportunities there are without breaking the bank.
Yeah, and we talked about a lot of things before we sat down to film about that, and why this has become sort of the new normal of what to think about when you're talking about your marketing. And I think some of the biggest reasons why these trends are happening is that we're seeing finally these generational shifts too, right, of who we're really starting to market to, right? I mean, you've got, Gen X and millennials now being the bulk of the adults we're trying to market to, and what their brain has been used to in terms of marketing and capitalism throughout their lives. So we're seeing that shift of, I think, a little bit of the individualistic personalities that we've sort of grown up with, of being told we want something unique and we want something different. So yeah, being able to brand yourself in a way that is memorable and also, disruptive, and that you're able to, switch up and again, make unique, so that people aren't just bored of it over time.
So, and I think it's really important, to talk about, first of all, like who your competition is. And your competition for branding isn't the law firm down the road. It's not the rival firm across the state. It's none of those things. Your competition for branding is really attention. So you are now competing with the Taylor Swifts of the world. You're competing with the NBA Finals. You're competing with, the Super Bowl and Kendrick Lamar. You are competing with the reality show that is our presidency. You are competing with all of these various things for attention. Because if you can't capture any attention, like you can never build brand.
Right. I mean, right. We're in the digital age of, social media where, if you can't hook someone in 5 seconds, then you've got no chance of capturing their attention. So people are just so used to what's the next best thing. If you can't measure up to that, then you're going to lose.
And, I think it's really important for anybody out there doing their own marketing or a marketing director or thinking about this as a law firm owner to really be aware of sort of like macro consumer trends and macro brand trends, right? Because big companies, teams, people who have top level like marketing people, they're doing things with a lot more data than you could ever obtain and a lot of experience, right? And so one of the things, and I have my 2 hats here today, and maybe if we filmed it later this week, I would actually have a third, and we'll get to that. One of the things to be thinking about is really what sports teams are doing right now. Look, when I grew up, it was, you had your home uniform, your away uniform, and teams wore the same uniform for years, many seasons. Michael Jordan's uniforms really didn't change with the Bulls. I mean, I know initially he had the curse of Chicago, but the classic Bulls uniform stays around for about 20 years. And then, in the late 90s, they start coming out with like an alternate. And then that was the Dennis Rodman black jersey. So you had an alternate of red, red, white, and black. And you sort of saw sports teams do it. Now, when I am in a hotel and I turn on SportsCenter, I don't know what NBA teams are playing. Like the colors change, the courts change.
Like, who am I watching?
Like
today?
what is going on? But the NBA is no fools. Nike, who is behind all of this, are no fools. And you can say yes, like it is to sell more jerseys. Absolutely. No question. But it is also to grab attention. People get bored more easily. People's minds expect change rapidly. And it'd be interesting to see, even with TikTok trends, which tend to explode, 3, 4, 5 years ago, it felt like a trend would go on for weeks.
Right.
Now it's like days.
Yep. Well, because even the algorithm I've noticed with Instagram and TikTok obviously has been like this, but I won't see everything, that my friends are posting, even if I'm following them on Instagram, or I'll see them weeks later and stuff. And I mean, I'm on there every day. So, right, because even my friends' posts are competing, right, with just every new trend that's happening. So every day there's something new. And if you're not right on top of it, then you've lost.
Well, what was it? A few years ago you had the if it doesn't jiggle, jiggle.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was like that in the last summer or 2 summers ago with the corn song.
The corn. That was a few summers ago. And then
it was like the whole summer.
The whole summer. Yeah. Lizzo with the with the oven.
Whatever. It's something Lizzo.
Put the cinnamon rolls in the oven.
Oh, yes.
Like that went on for weeks and weeks, if not months.
Yes.
And now these trends are moving so fast because even the trends, even the algorithms are trying to compete for very limited attention, right? And look, like you're never going to be a TikTok trend. No matter how great your law firm is, nobody's ever going to care about you. Like, Knicks fans care about their Knicks and things like that. Like, you're not going to get there. But like, how do you remain somewhat relevant? And somewhat, how do you stand out sort of in your own way? Which brings me to these hats, right? And so I'm holding, if you're watching it, you can see that's sort of the classic Red Sox hat that has been the hat for most of my life, which is navy blue and a red bee and a white. I mean, it's classic. It looks great.
Everyone knows, what it is.
Everyone knows what that bee is, and it has been, the Red Sox hat for most of. They've had some variations on that. In the 70s, they had red hats for a bit. But this has been like the classic, iconic Red Sox hat that you see, right? And then 5 years ago, they introduced these City Connects, which are, this teal, blue, and yellow, which are actually the Boston City colors. So if you are running the Boston Marathon. These are marathon colors, which are Boston colors, which is yellow. And the whole idea of City Connect is to bring the uniforms closer to the city as opposed to just being the team. And they still kept their sort of iconic beat.
Right.
But it just is a teal blue with yellow on the outside and a yellow cap. So when those uniforms came out, they were disruptive. People, oh my gosh, these are ugly. This is terrible. These aren't the Red Sox colors. And what happened is those uniforms sold more than any of their other uniforms. You go to Fenway Park, anybody under the age of 30 is wearing the yellow Red Sox jersey, okay, as opposed to the home whites. They're wearing the yellow jersey, and it becomes so popular. And the whole concept of Nike City Connect is that you'll have these jerseys for like 5 years. The teal, blue, and yellow became so popular that the Red Sox were set to come up for a new City Connect this year. They kept this yellow and blue City Connect.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and they added another one.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so this past Friday, was the big reveal of their new City Connect uniforms, which are green, like the green monster, and it's still got the same B. And my son, who is 13 years old, or 12. No, he's 12. He'll be 12 years old. We had to come home from flag football and turn on the Red Sox game because it was their new uniforms.
Yeah.
Same club.
Right.
New uniforms. And they did this bee hat, and he's like, oh, that's so cool. And so we went to a local mall, and we go into the hat store, and we're like, do you have the green hats? The guy goes, you're the third person to ask me about that today. It was like 11 o'clock in the morning, but it was disruptive. You were the Boston Red Sox. You have lots of attention. You have lots of followers. And yes, you're going to sell lots of apparel, so good on you, Nike. But it is expected that things will change. The familiar, different people you need to be mixing it up a little bit in your marketing.
Yeah, and I think people are just, becoming more receptive to those changes. I mean, I feel like back in the day, like when Facebook would change their interface, everyone would just be like, this is the worst thing ever. Why would they change it? Everything looks stupid. And now I feel like, I don't know if it's just that they roll it out in softer ways or, more minimal changes throughout time. So you just don't notice it as much or what. But no, it certainly seems like now people are expecting the changes, people are embracing it. And especially for things like this where it's fun and reinvents the wheel. And again, it's an opportunity to get to buy something new that you feel like in that individualistic, not everyone has this color iteration of it because it's not the classic, it's not the traditional, boring old one. So there's just something about that mindset.
And it's really about like things getting stale.
Right.
And which is amazing to me. Like most books, Brittany, you could write the greatest book.
Oh yeah.
Right? And you're going to sell most of your copies within the first week.
Yeah.
2 weeks, 3 weeks. I had dinner with David Sedaris a few years ago, and he was like, it used to be 5-10 years ago, you'd be on the New York Times bestseller list for 20 weeks.
Yep.
Or 30 weeks. And now he's like, it's 5.
Oh yeah.
And because all of his fans buy the book on the first day.
Or pre-order, right?
Or they pre-order.
I mean, that's the biggest thing is that authors, again, because even authors now are online, have that followership online. So the second they're announcing the when the release will happen, it's pre-order. And those all just compile for that very first week. So, yeah. And
if you think about it, like, I guarantee you there was some book that was written 3 years ago that is like one of the best books of the century, we'll say, right? Like, phenomenal piece of art, incredibly readable, and yet it doesn't sell 3 years later.
Right.
Because what is Amazon's algorithm promoting? New releases. The same thing with, TV shows. Like, yes, there's like nostalgic episodes that people watched in the past. But how many people are, now, maybe if they're 25, getting into Breaking Bad? Right. It has to be, I think, decades out for that nostalgia to, come back there. Because, of course, there's that trend, right? That there's the nostalgia of
30 years back that people are craving. And so those shows are coming back in that sort of way, for new generations to explore. But right, those shows sitting in the middle there, they're not, no one, right, like you said, no one's thinking about Breaking Bad right now. No one's thinking about,
Gilmore Girls.
Well, Gilmore Girls, that one is always there. That one's one of those 30-year-old ones that I think they figured out the nostalgia of that one will live on. But there's just so much content to consume.
Right.
and we only have so much time on our hands every day, right, as a society. So if you're not doing something that's attention grabbing and changing. I mean, it's even I thought it was interesting. Did you see how HBO Max
became Max,
but then now they're going back to HBO Max?
No, I didn't know that.
So they've had like several different iterations because they're just, trying. I don't know. I don't quite know what their, reasoning for going back and forth was, but, my guess is, again, they want to just continuously reinvent a little bit so that people are paying attention in some way. But
yeah, so you have big brands trying to grab attention. And so look, like, I think the stock advice is like, have your brand colors, be consistent with your font, pick out your branding package. I mean, you hear this all the time. And believe me, like, if you were to go into our database, you would find we do have brand colors.
Yeah.
We have our hex codes, we have our fonts, we have different things. Like, there is something to be said for consistency. But I think it's important that your brand not come off as stale in order to come off as relevant, in order to have a chance at grabbing some sort of attention. So, like, what do I mean by that? And, like, what does that mean for, I think, a small firm or a firm, who doesn't have a massive media budget? We were talking a little bit about us at Connecticut Trial Firm and how we were going to do branding campaigns with, like, billboards, right? And we had logos and we had, State of Connecticut outline that we were going to do. And we wanted to make it relevant to people who are driving by. So in May, we may do like flowers coming out of the state, like something that shows like we are alive, we are existing. Or for July, do red, white, and blue.
Right.
For August, do the beach or, something like that. October, Halloween, and try to take the Connecticut outline, which we had up on the boards, and change it just a little bit so people know that we're alive and engaged, and it grabs their attention a little bit. And so it's familiar but different.
Exactly.
And so, like, when I was talking about like the NBA teams, like I watch SportsCenter and I'm like, who are these teams? Like, that's not helpful for you with a law firm if they're like driving by and they're like, who is this firm? Like, that is
a new one every month.
That is not useful to you. So my recommendation is sort of do what the Red Sox did, which is, keep the B,
right?
But go with the teal, blue, and yellow and white. Go with a green that's familiar with a green monster that's a little bit different. And so in your social media, in your website, in your content that you are doing, don't be afraid to give it some element of now.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a good point though too, to make sure you're then doing it across the board, on your marketing, so that anywhere people are finding you, it's consistent, right? So if you're changing up your billboard that month for July for Independence Day, do your best to make sure on social media you're changing out some elements so you're seeing some matching there, so that when people are cross-referencing and finding you in those places, that recognition comes back and says, oh yes, this is the one I saw on the billboard, this is the same people.
Our logo was, the oak leaf, and, we talked about for Pride Month, changing it to, the pride flag colors, and you're tapping into the zeitgeist, you're grabbing some attention, you're showing who you are, you're showing that you're not like stale bread, like
right.
people
which
are.
Everyone thinks lawyers are, and
right.
The commonplace.
So the same logo, the same font, the same social media, the same blue, it doesn't jump as much as I think it needs to. And lawyers are always concerned. Mike Morris says in his Fireproof book, we got to spend time with Mike 2 weeks ago. Mike says, be, Cherry Garcia, not vanilla. My gripe is that a well done vanilla, I tell Mike this,
Yes.
a well done vanilla is a great flavor. It is not the absence of flavor.
Vanilla is a very complex flavor. I mean, there's a reason the vanilla bean is actually a very expensive bean to buy. But yeah, that I agree. I am a vanilla purist.
But his point of like, you have to stand out in some way. And like, look, many of our listeners, many of our clients, many of the folks in our community, like they don't want to be doing top dog. They don't want to be, all these shenanigans.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't feel right to them.
Right.
And you should always be authentic to who it is that you are. And if your thing is like, you want to be the personal injury lawyer who dirt bikes and pulls stunts, like go for it if that is who you are. But I think a lot of people, it trends conservative anyway. So, going from dark blue to light blue feels a little radical and it feels a little out of place. But I'm going to suggest to you that those kinds of changes, so subtle, can really pop on your swag, can pop if you're doing, we're going to talk about this. This is a good thing, but you can pop in just any sort of merchandising that you have. If you're doing community events, if you're doing social media, like just change it up a little bit. Change up your LinkedIn header, just a little bit. It doesn't have to be so disruptive. It doesn't have to be constant, but change those things up. And we're sort of talking brand. We've talked a lot about play with some of the creative a little bit. Play with some of your colors. Don't be afraid to have a little fun. Don't be afraid to, in the words of Mike Morris, be a little bit Cherry Garcia. But also look at other trends. And, one of the things that we do a lot is we travel a lot. And initially it was like, we're going to get mugs for everywhere we go. We have a bunch of mugs from places that we have been, but I don't know how many Salt Lake City mugs we can put in our office.
I know, we are definitely running out of room now. So thank you to everyone who's sent us mugs too, but unfortunately, we've run out of room.
So
instead, here's what you could send us.
Instead, and this is something you should do.
Yeah.
Like, we travel a lot, we go around, we see people. Stickers are a massive, massive trend.
Mm-hmm.
Massive trend. Custom stickers that speak to places.
Yes.
All over airports, all over water bottles, all over laptops. Stickers are a massive trend everywhere we travel. You see them in airports and gift shops and trendy shops, in little shops, like we're in Charleston in these little stores.
Oh yeah.
They have these custom stickers that scream Charleston. They have, we were in Park City and they had all these fun stickers that were fun. I mean, that are just fun. And oftentimes, like sometimes we get them, like it's Park City. Like I've got a cool Los Angeles skull one that's very Mexican. It's very Los Angeles.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and I mean, I love putting them on everything, laptops, water bottles. I don't know if this trend comes from, again, millennials being sort of the target adult age group now, that as a recovering anxious millennial as a child, you have that sticker anxiety of like, you didn't want to like place a sticker somewhere and then like regret having it on there because you couldn't like take it off and put it. And now I think as adults we're trying to free ourselves from that anxiety, so we're like, you know what, stickers everywhere. Stickers everywhere. So yeah, my laptop's covered in them. My old water bottle, I haven't made the jump to my new water bottle yet. I don't know why, but I'm sure it will crack soon. But
this is an interesting one for me because as a lawyer, like there's so much pressure to wear gray, okay?
Yeah.
Because it makes sense, like you're representing your client. Like I'm not like myself. I am representing my client, and I don't want to give anything to a jury or a judge where they may judge me or resent me or not listening to what I'm saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so lawyers, you are in one box. Like, you are in a unique box. The rest of the world, like, people's laptops and water bottles sort of scream who they are.
Right.
And so I went from having no stickers. I have more stickers on my laptop than Brittany has on hers, so
Listen, I still have a little bit of that millennial anxiety, okay?
I'm just like, boom!
I'm a little more selective still.
I'm just like, boom, right? But the tangible of the sticker connects me to the place. Okay. So we were flying through Minneapolis. We stop at the print store. Like, I get a Purple Rain sticker. I slap that there, and it's like, that connects me to my flights through Minneapolis, my family who's in Minneapolis, my time in Minneapolis, prints, like it's a form of connection with the world, right? It's a tangible. And if you start looking at like another huge trend, the tangible is a trend because, people are buying more vinyl. People are actually, even in the age of Kindle, buying more books.
Guilty of both.
I was I'm wearing my Pearl Jam Hartford shirt. The tangible with Pearl Jam is also very big because at every concert they have, I just went and I saw them in end of April in Atlanta. Every concert they do a special license plate, they have a special poster for the concert, sometimes they have special t-shirts, but the highly most sought after things are 1, stickers.
Of course.
And 2, they do these like washers.
Oh.
They're like $5 washers and it just says like Pearl Jam Atlanta and it has the date.
Fun.
And people put them on their keychains. I don't even know what they do. You cannot find these washers, but they sell them for $5.
Fun.
So it's to connect people to the place, right? And so much of what so many of our firms do, whether they're divorce firms or criminal firms or immigration firms or personal injury firms, like people don't come into their office as much anymore.
Right.
People don't have that human connection. Many more things are done over e-signature and through the phone or through text message, that there's not that physical connection, right? And it's like hard. I have to tell you, your law firm swag, maybe your parents want to wear it. Okay? maybe if you have a really big fan client of yours, they're gonna wear it to bed. Okay? But like nobody wants to be walking around with a
t-shirt that has a law firm on it. Yeah.
That's not what they're living for. So, you out there who are sending mugs with your logo, things with your logo, I'm gonna, it's better than nothing, but I caution you that as much as and by the way, if you have swag, I love law firm swag.
Right.
You can send it to me and I will wear it proudly. But I am not most people. They don't like this, right? We were just at Hona's Disrupt conference and I thought they did stickers so well.
Oh.
Filevine does stickers so well as well.
They do.
But the stickers are what, like live, love, litigate.
Yeah, it was like live, love, lawsuits or something like that.
And then it had a little Hona sticker on it.
Yeah,
right?
so it was still branded, right? But like very minimally, and they definitely do a very good, like their logo is just very attractive looking. They had one that just says allegedly.
Allegedly.
Fun. That's very zeitgeist, I feel like in the world right now. Yeah, no, they just had fun. That one especially is founded by a millennial, so you can definitely feel the tapping into that age group and everything. But yeah, I think the world as a whole is accepting of those stickers and that trend a lot. So
and I'm gonna talk super basic because I can't be this creative on the fly, but like if you did like a law firm sticker, but say this was your brand, like be kind.
Yeah.
And then it had
a bee. Like a
bee?
Yeah.
Or like a B for like Boston.
Oh, I thought you meant like a buzz.
Or a B for best era.
Yeah.
But or just like the words, like be kind.
Yeah.
Or be awesome. Or like live curiously. I don't know, but like some slogan like that.
Mm-hmm.
It had like a little thing that had your law firm name at the bottom. Like that's getting slapped on a water bottle. Like that's telling the community who you are, what you do, and if you're into Spanish, like do Spanish ones, like Vámonos, and it has the flood firm on it or something. I think like those things. Buenos dias. Like I think those kinds of stickers that pop are grabbing attention. They're tying your brand. They're tying you to the person. It's not so overwhelming that it's like a shirt that says these things. So I think you're super smart to brand with fun stickers.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you don't know what fun stickers are, like ask somebody under the age of 40 in your life. Like they will tell you, look in airport gift shops.
Yeah.
Go to stores, local stores that are fun, and you're going to find stickers. And think about how you can do it, or you can brand them to place, right? Like I see like Hartford Prints has like stickers. They've got like stickers of, we have the Soldiers and Sailors Arch in Hartford, which is a a thing.
Yeah.
Do a sticker of that and put your little firm name on it, and watch people. I love Hartford. Those are stickers that people are going to actually want and use and are cool. And don't make them like your boring ass firm colors and fonts.
Right. Plus, thankfully, stickers are usually fairly cheap to get in bulk.
Completely cheap to get in bulk. Completely easy to mail.
Yeah. Yep.
Pairs really well with a note card.
Yep.
You're doing things that are relevant. Like, it's non-cluttering, it's useful, it taps into the zeitgeist, it shows that you're present. Like, create some stickers.
Yeah. It's
Easy. Okay, so we've covered branding. And you know what? I was telling Allison, I was like, the bee in the socks, like, best era.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to do maybe have Pam work on some Red Sox type bee.
Yeah. Would that be copyrighted?
I think we could play with it enough that we don't get sued.
Yeah.
I think you can have a lot of fun out there, and don't be afraid to have some fun into your marketing.
Agreed.
So we've covered branding and stickers and branding with stickers. It's a good episode.
Yeah, I think that about covers it for today. That was enough for people to take in. We've given them enough jobs here, so find a brand that you can change up a little bit and get stickers for it.
And if you do awesome stickers,
Yeah, definitely
send them to us.
Yeah.
Send them a bunch of your
As
stickers.
I've established, I have room on my water bottle and my laptop still. So.
We will see in future episodes if your sticker is good enough to make Brittany's laptop. I am non-discriminatory.
Yeah.
I will just put that on my laptop.
Like I said, still harboring some of that sticker anxiety as a childhood. There's just too many good Lisa Frank stickers as a child to go around. I couldn't waste them.
So please send us your stickers. We will welcome them. Brittany, what is it that you are listening to?
So I am actually, speaking of concerts and set lists and stuff, I'm going to see Beyonce this weekend.
Oh, nice.
Yep. So I am one of those people that likes to do their homework ahead of a concert, and since she's played obviously a few shows already for this concert, I have been listening to the set list as of so far that she's been consistently playing at the show. So I'm getting ready for my show.
Where is Beyonce playing?
I am seeing her at MetLife.
Okay, New York.
Yeah. Yep. She's doing smaller sort of residencies, so she's only going to, I think it's only 6 places, and she's playing 6 shows at each, or something like that. So, but yes, so I'm going with my best friend for that. How about you? What are you?
Well, also concerts. I last week downloaded the Pearl Jam concert that I went to with my brother-in-law in Atlanta, so April 29th. And one of the, this is a cool marketing thing too. We learned from Will Guerrero's Unreasonable Hospitality team, you get to choose when it ends. Mm-hmm. Both you as the consumer and you as the business get to choose when the experience ends. And Pearl Jam, for the better part of 20 years, has released digital downloads of concerts that you can get for $12, or if you're in your fan club, they conveniently give you 1 download a year for free.
Nice.
So you can download any show that you have been to. So I have all the shows that I have been to, and I get to relive that concert experience.
That's really fun.
So if you're out there and you're thinking about things, think about when does their experience with you end? How does it end? How can you continue it? Because Pearl Jam, I'm wearing my Pearl Jam Hartford shirt from 2013.
Nice.
See? Pearl Jam is not winning new fans. The kids are not super into them, as my kids tell me. But they have a deep, loyal fan base that sells out anywhere they play, everywhere they play, and has for 35 years. So there's a lesson to be had there. So, just because a client's case is over or their matter's over, it should not mean the end of that relationship with them.
Absolutely.
Well,
good connection.
There we go. Brought it full circle. Yeah. Thank you. See you next time.
See ya.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of The Way with Best Era. Be sure to visit our website, bestera.io. From there, get more resources, insights, and to connect with us directly. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform. That way you never miss an episode. Until next time, keep striving for your version of success.